Hey guys! Today we'll be covering a 2021 drama miniseries called Komyuso wa Komyusho desu. Shoko Komi is a high school girl. Because of her dark hair, tall build, and mysterious personality, she is popular among her classmates. She has never spoken to anyone in the school, which makes people mistake that she is confident being by herself. However, the truth is far from that. Komi is extremely introverted and terrible at communicating with her classmates. Every day she wishes that she had friends, someone she could eat with during lunchtime, or someone she could have a conversation with. But instead of trying to make friends, she stays by herself and writes her wishes on the board when no one is around. Then there's a guy named Hirohito Tadano. He is an average high school kid whose only motto is to stay out of trouble. He tries to help everyone he can and enjoys little things in life. On the first day of school, Tadano and Komi bump into each other. Tadano takes this as an opportunity to make a new friend and wishes her a good morning. He waits for a reply, which never comes. He apologizes for making her uncomfortable, but to his horror, Komi ignores him completely. Then he finds a cat-shaped tag on the floor and hands it to her. To cut the awkwardness, he says meow, but it only makes them more uncomfortable. After the eventful encounter, Tadano hopes to never cross paths with Komi again, but to his dismay, they end up sitting beside each other in class. The teacher asks everyone to introduce themselves, and when it's Komi's turn, she just writes her name on the board. Everyone thinks she is the coolest, unaware that Komi almost had a panic attack when she was asked to speak. In the following scene, we are introduced to a Tadano fanboy named Naruse. Like Komi, he also has communication problems, but in a different way. He has a hard time expressing his thoughts and always ends up looking uptight in conversations. In the morning, Naruse noticed Tadano walking down the street while enjoying the beauty of nature. He has since fallen in love with Tadano and wants to be his friend. But when he approaches Tadano, he forgets how to speak. After a minute of silence, he asks him to get his bag from the class. Tadano quickly does as told because it sounds like an order to him. The failed conversation makes Naruse want to crawl up into a corner, but he is determined to win Tadano's heart the next time. When Tadano gets to the classroom, he hears Komi silently whisper meow. He finally realizes that she can actually speak and asks her to say something else. Komi, on the other hand, shows him the tag and bows down. Tadano understands that she is thanking him for picking it up in the morning. He also registers that she has a hard time communicating and inquires if they can talk through writing. Komi agrees and writes that she always wanted to make friends, but couldn't because of her anxiety. She is sad that she is not normal like the other kids, but Tadano makes her feel better by claiming everyone feels anxious while talking to new people. The conversation proceeds and they talk for a long time about different things. At last, Tadano asks her what her biggest dream is, and she replies that she wants to make 100 friends before graduation. Tadano declares himself her first friend, which melts Komi's heart. This is the first time she has interacted with a friend, and even though it is not in words, she is delighted that she can finally communicate with someone. In the following scene, we are introduced to another girl from their class named Rumiko. When Rumiko was little, her mother told her that gyaru makeup will help her make friends in the future. She has been doing exaggerated makeup ever since, but it has made her life more difficult. Rumiko has no friends and is always longing to talk to people. Like Komi, she always wishes to eat lunch with a friend. The next morning, Komi meets Tadano first and starts a conversation. It is a huge step for her, even though she is communicating through a notebook. However, her popularity creates a problem for Tadano because everyone envies him for being her only friend. Komi is oblivious to her popularity and thinks that people are making fun of her behind her back. Before Tadano can clear up the misunderstanding, he is approached by his best friend Najimi. Najimi is a gender-fluid person who currently goes by he/him pronouns. He greets Tadano and amidst their conversation, mentions that everyone is his friend. During lunch, Komi and Rumiko are alone yet again. While looking around, they lock eyes, but Komi looks away instantly. Rumiko takes it as a sign to talk to her, but Komi ignores her out of her anxiety. Rumiko is hurt, but she pretends to be unbothered and walks outside. Later, Tadano tells Komi that everyone in school wants to be her friend, and if she approaches them with a smile, they will like her. Komi takes the suggestion and goes to Najimi. She heard him say that everyone is his friend earlier, so she is positive that he will agree to be her friend as well. She asks him if he wants to hang out together through a notebook, but to her surprise, he refuses and claims that they can never be friends. Tadano witnesses this and inquires why he was so rude to Komi. It turns out that Najimi doesn't really like Komi because he thinks she is too uptight. Whatever the reason may be, the rejection has dented Komi's spirit to make new friends. Tadano meets her on the rooftop and tries to cheer her up. He also says that friendships are not something you make, but realize that it is already there. So, the next time, Komi should start by doing a nice gesture for someone rather than bluntly asking them to be a friend. Komi is still skeptical about the approach, but she agrees to do it when she gets the chance. During recess, Rumiko is walking down the hallway when people make fun of her makeup and hair. She believes that they are making fun of her because she is wearing too little makeup. Suddenly, her stomach hurts, and she has to sit down to prevent herself from puking. Tadano sees her and runs to help. Similarly, Komi also comes to her aid and helps her to the nurse's room. The two sit in silence for a while before Rumiko apologizes for being too much trouble. She takes the chance to tell Komi that she always wanted to be liked by her peers, but hasn't been successful yet. When Komi finds out that she also wants a friend to have lunch with, she feels touched. Rumiko almost doesn't believe it when Komi asks her to be her friend. With tears in her eyes, she accepts the proposal. In the end, Rumiko becomes Komi's second friend, while Komi becomes her first. Tadano arrives a while later and is happy to see them together. Then comes the next morning. Komi has bought her first phone and wants to use it properly. She nervously asks Tadano for his number, and he saves it on her phone. While returning home that day, Komi is over the moon. She stares at Tadano's number on her phone and accidentally calls him. When he picks up, she panics and pretends to say an automated voice message. Tadano figures out that she is the one talking and is shocked to hear her voice for the first time. Komi quickly ends the call before texting him an apology message for calling him at an inconvenient time. They decide to not talk about her voice and move on with their days. The next day at school, Naruse approaches Tadano again. His voice sounds strict as usual, but this time, he manages to offer him a sandwich. The two eat together, much to Naruse's delight. He is glad that he is making progress in their friendship. In the bathroom, Rumiko wears more makeup than usual, wanting to fit in with her new friends. However, it only makes people make fun of her. Tadano and Komi are too nice to tell her that it's too much. They talk about their favorite musicians and get along pretty well. In the middle of the conversation, Rumiko mentions the weird look she gets from her classmates. Tadano carefully tells her that she should try showing them her bare face. Komi affirms and asks Rumiko to take off her makeup. Her bare face is beautiful, which surprises everyone. Tadano and Komi compliment her beauty, making her more confident than ever. Later during recess, Tadano is called to the notice board for something important. The students of their class have made a social status pyramid where Komi is on top and Tadano is at the bottom. People are not happy that an average guy like him got to be Komi's friend when she doesn't even talk to anyone else. Komi takes a stand for herself, claiming that she has the right to choose a friend and they should not make her feel bad for doing so. She feels awful for Tadano since people are making fun of him because of her. When they are together, she asks if they should stop being friends. However, Tadano, being a good friend, assures her that their words do not bother him. Komi's heart fills with joy and she speaks for the first time, saying that she wants to continue being friends with him forever. Tadano is shocked and doesn't know what to do. Before they can talk further, they are interrupted by Najimi. He apologizes to Komi for being rude the last time they met. He also agrees to be her friend, and the two walk back home together. On the way, they talk about the time they spent together in piano class. Najimi inquires why she never spoke to him, to which Komi replies that she was nervous. She remembers every single word he said, and even the name of the song he used to hum. All this information makes Najimi realize that she is not uptight, she just has trouble speaking. Then, they are joined by Tadano and Rumiko. The group goes to a special place that Najimi calls his favorite. They watch the skyline, talk about the definition of a friend, and enjoy their time together. Before separating, Komi asks Tadano to call her by her first name, but he is too awkward to do it. The following morning, Tadano bumps into Naruse at school. At first, Naruse makes his usual constipated expression, which he thinks is cool, but he stops when Tadano assures him he is better when relaxed. Naruse reveals that he is changing schools because his parents are relocating. Before leaving, he wants to go to the beach with a group of friends. Tadano agrees, and so does the rest of the group. The next morning, Komi is the first one to arrive at the bus station. This is the first time she's going out with friends and is very nervous. A while later, Tadano arrives but stands on the opposite side of the bus station, unable to see Komi. Then comes Naruse, who spies on Tadano from afar, gushing about how handsome he looks. Lastly, Rumiko arrives and sees all of them in different parts of the station. Confused, she calls Najimi and discovers that he has forgotten about the plan. To apologize, he paid for a rental bus so the others could enjoy their trip. In the next scene, they are on their way to the beach. The bus confines them all, and no one speaks, making the ride an awkward one. To ease the mood, Tadano suggests they play a word game which continues until they arrive at the destination. When they finally reach the beach, they play volleyball and enjoy the trip, and only stop when Komi gets hurt. After that, the group sits down to talk. Naruse reveals that he is relocating to Malaysia and might never be able to meet them again. His eyes get teary thinking about the future, but the others cheer him up. They wish him luck and promise to keep in touch with him through the internet. It has been 3 weeks since Naruse moved to Malaysia, and a new storm is about to test Komi's communication skills. It all starts with a straight-A student in their class, Kyoko. She is obsessed with being the best in everything, which is why she is also a candidate in the student presidential election. Kyoko needs someone to be a supporter in the presidential speech, and a friend suggests they ask Komi for help because she is the most popular student in their school. Komi happily agrees, even though she can only talk through notes. But then, Kyoko changes her mind and claims that she doesn't want Komi's support anymore. It is almost as if she remembered something in the middle of the conversation. A while later, Tadano and Komi talk about Kyoko's strange behavior. They believe that she is not a bad person because she always comes to class earlier and cleans everyone's desk. Later that day, they follow her home to see her helping an old woman climb the stairs. It is clear that Kyoko is kind, which makes them more confused about why she was rude to Komi earlier. After dwelling on it for a bit, Tadano and Komi decide to ask Kyoko for answers. They find her obsessively cleaning her hands after touching the old woman. When asked why she doesn't want Komi on the campaign, Kyoko says that it will be inconsiderate for her to do so. She has never even shared a conversation with Komi, so using her because of her popularity would be selfish. Komi in turn writes that they should be friends from now on. That way, she will be helping a friend, and Kyoko won't feel bad about the campaign. Touched by the kind gesture, Kyoko shakes Komi's hand and accepts the proposal. On reaching home, she cleans her hands thoroughly, revealing that she is a germaphobe. The next day at school, Komi is excited because it is her first time supporting a friend in their venture. During recess, Kyoko is distributing flyers for her campaign, but seems to be failing to attract people's attention. Tadano and Komi come to her aid, and soon a crowd gathers around them because of Komi. They agree to vote for Kyoko, which makes her feel uneasy. She changes her mind for the second time and insists that she doesn't need anyone's help. As they chat, they are approached by Asi, Kyoko's childhood best friend. She offers to help with the flyers, but Kyoko dismisses her as well. She is adamant about doing everything on her own. To calm the situation, Tadano calls everyone to join him for lunch, but he soon regrets doing so as everyone eats their food in awkward silence. After the eventful lunch, they are approached by Najimi. He thinks that the flyers are too complicated and Kyoko should have a better election picture. Initially, Kyoko refuses to take his advice, but upon everyone's request, she considers it. They make a pact that if Kyoko can defeat the rest of the group in a hidden cover rock and paper scissors game, she will have to accept their help. To get them off her back, Kyoko accepts the challenge. Even though she is new to the game, she beats every single person. In the end, she wins, but Najimi isn't someone who gives up so easily. He claims that now that they have to spend so much time together, they are definitely friends. And since friends help each other, they are bound to help Kyoko as well. Later, Rumiko, Komi, and Asi are in the washroom together when Komi gives Asi a makeup wipe. Asi is strangely obsessed with always remaining clean and is constantly using deodorant and sweat wipes. So it is a seemingly insignificant gesture for most people, but to Asi, Komi has become one of her best friends. Then we see the three of them walking down the hallway, while Kyoko is left behind alone. Tadano approaches her and asks her what is wrong. All of a sudden, Kyoko changes her mind and asks him to be her supporting speech for the election. Tadano is left stunned, but he agrees nonetheless. Later, Kyoko asks both Rumiko and Komi to help with the speech. The entire group is confused because of the sudden change of mind, but they are too intimidated by Kyoko to argue. When she is not around, they discuss why Kyoko changed her mind so many times and why she chose new friends to ask for help when Asi knows her best. They come to a conclusion that Asi did something to Kyoko, which is why she is mad. Upon being asked, Kyoko defends her friend and takes all the blame. It turns out that Kyoko suddenly became a germaphobe in middle school. When her obsession got more intense, she started staying away from Asi, calling her dirty. It was an unintentional comment, but it stuck to Asi, which is why she cares so much about her hygiene. Kyoko has unintentionally hurt Asi a lot and feels like she doesn't deserve a friend like her. Everyone is left speechless at the confession. Komi brings Asi in front of Kyoko, quietly ordering her to do the right thing. Kyoko gets the hint and asks Asi to be her supporting speech for the election. In the following scene, Asi is in front of the entire school initiating her speech. She opens up her heart and says everything that she wanted to say to Kyoko for years. She addresses her problems as a germaphobe and praises her effort to do better for the people she loves. By the end of the speech, Asi is in tears, and so is everyone in the audience. After that, Kyoko comes to the stage and says Asi is not her friend. Everyone is shocked until she follows it up by claiming that she is her irreplaceable best friend. Her speech goes on for about an hour and ends with loud applause. Then Kyoko and Asi thank everyone for bringing them close again. Kyoko shocks everyone again by hugging Asi. Even though she will scrub her arms later on, she is happy at this moment. Later that day, Rumiko is on her way home when two neighborhood thugs catcall her. Tadano sees this and comes to her rescue. He pretends to be her boyfriend and manages to shoo the thugs away. The two then walk home together while being watched by Komi, who feels a pang of jealousy. When Komi and Rumiko are alone the next day, Rumiko asks her if she likes someone. Before Komi can reply, Tadano calls Rumiko for help. Komi again watches them together and feels jealous. During the lunch break, she gathers up the courage to talk to Rumiko for the first time. She asks her how one knows if they like someone. Rumiko is over the moon that she can finally talk about boys with her best friend. She claims that when you like someone, you will feel a strange emotion in your heart. In the next class, a new student named Chisuto is introduced. He is a foreigner who thinks he is better than everyone else and has a narcissistic personality. For the celebration of the annual festival, the students are asked to vote on what kind of stalls they would want to work at. Everyone takes a pick, but Komi surprises them by picking a maid cafe. People follow her lead, and maid cafe becomes the most voted stall. After class, Rumiko asks Komi if she really wants to take part in being a server. However, it turns out that Komi thought she would just have to make coffee, as she does for her father every morning. Seeing that the girl is completely oblivious to the latest trends, the group decides to go to karaoke. Komi even invites Chisuto to join them. In the evening, everyone goes to the nearby karaoke house. They have a lot of fun until it is Komi's turn to sing. She chooses a song and tries to sing, but has a hard time getting words out. To make her feel better, the others join her and complete the song. Even Chisuto gets along with everyone, despite his eccentric personality. On their way back home, Tadano and Komi are together. Tadano is worried that she won't be comfortable in a maid costume. Komi asks him not to worry so much, but it comes out rude. After they separate, Tadano gets a call from her yet again. This time she speaks out loud and thanks him for being considerate. She also recalls the first time they talked, claiming that she will never forget him, even if they drift apart in the future. After the call, Tadano sits down on the road to catch a breath. Somewhere else, Komi experiences the strange feeling that Rumiko told her about. Starting the next day, the students get busy preparing for the maid cafe's opening. Komi is a bit nervous because she has to work with other classmates, but all of them are friendly, which makes her feel better. She is able to communicate with them just fine, but Tadano is always nearby if she needs any help. Later, Komi and Najimi are together in the classroom. As they chat, Najimi reveals that two people who are together on the day of the festival will be tangled for life. So, on that day, many couples hang out together. Komi realizes that she wants to be with Tadano, but doesn't know how to make that happen. She gathers up courage and asks Najimi how one can invite the person they like on a date. Najimi encourages her to just ask the person, despite the risk of being rejected. Meanwhile, on the rooftop, Rumiko invites Tadano to join her so they can visit the stalls together. At the same time, Komi arrives to hear Tadano accepting the proposal. Her heart breaks in two, but she pretends to be unbothered and even congratulates Rumiko. Najimi also figures out what is going on, but decides to keep quiet. When it gets dark, everyone goes home except for Tadano and the group. At Najimi's request, they recite horror stories to set the mood. After that, the group plans to play a game where they have to touch the other end of the hallway and return to the classroom using only a flashlight. Komi and Chisuto are paired up to go outside together. But then Rumiko sees that Komi has left her notebook and follows behind them. Suddenly, Najimi remembers the message Komi wrote in her book yesterday. Before he can stop Rumiko, she reads it and registers that she and her best friend like the same guy. At this moment, she realizes that she doesn't want to go out with Tadano by making Komi feel bad. So she makes up an excuse and claims that she is better off hanging out with Najimi. Somewhere else, Chisuto and Komi reach the other end. Komi seems to be doing well, but Chisuto is shivering in fear. She talks for the first time in front of Chisuto, scaring him in the process. The rest of the group burst out laughing at the incident. At the end of the night, everyone goes to the terrace and lights fireworks. Rumiko tells Komi that she doesn't like Tadano, and it was just a misunderstanding. The next day at school, Komi inquires if Rumiko is really ditching her date with Tadano. Rumiko affirms and encourages her to ask him out, but Komi doesn't want to end the conversation that easily. The two sit down and talk, and Rumiko reveals that she is in fact in love with Tadano. But more than that, she values her friendship with both him and Komi. So, she is willing to step aside if that means they get to be happy. Komi is overwhelmed by the love she is receiving from her best friend. However, before she can reply, Tadano interrupts them. They go to their classroom and try on the maid uniforms. Before proceeding to the maid cafe, Komi thanks Rumiko for being her friend and says that she loves her. They cannot help but smile at the cute confession. In class, Chisuto and the others have made a chair for Komi, where she can be the attraction for the cafe without having to talk to anyone. They think it will help her, but Tadano insists otherwise. According to him, Komi has practiced a lot, and she deserves to be treated like a normal person. If she messes up, Rumiko is there to help her, so she should do what she initially wanted to. A while later, Komi receives the first customer. Even though she stutters, she does her best to welcome the guest and gains praise from everyone. In the end, the maid cafe is a success. A few more days pass, then comes Valentine's Day. Tadano is positive that he will get a bundle of chocolates today. He even keeps a close eye on his locker and his desk, but gets nothing. On the other hand, Komi receives presents from both boys and girls. After school, Tadano is walking home in distress when Komi comes running to him. She apologizes for not being brave and making him feel less special. Then, she hands him chocolates that she specially made for him. Tadano is over the moon and almost forgets to thank her. This time, Komi lets the intrusive thoughts get the best of her, and she touches his cheek. She runs away in embarrassment right after, but the gesture gives rise to a romantic relationship between the two. In the last scene, Komi and the group stand in front of a cherry blossom tree and admire it. Komi comments that it's beautiful, having finally solved her communication problem to some extent.